be too deep. I think I'm dying here, man.
And floors the creek, they lead us to the places from which we dare not peek. Journey through fear in the realm of the night. In every word they speak, our hearts ignite with fright. Welcome to the horror show, the Deep Cut Podcast, where nightmares come alive, ready to take their blow. Tune into the chilling delight on the airwaves of the night. Let the darkness grow. Let the darkness grow.
Oh yeah, it's that time again for another bi-weekly podcast with your hosts, Rotten Roger DeMarco and
Evil Dead Inc. It's 2040 and our president is a plant.
Oh, sure. Get out of my friend, Ghost.
Slappy. Welcome to 100 official episodes of the Deep Cut Podcasts. And what do we do at 100 episodes? We talk the controversial 2016 Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
So, and that's a weird thing to me. When it came out, it didn't have a subtitle. And then when I bought it on DVD, it had a subtitle.
Yeah.
That's really weird. Somewhere along the line, they just decided, let's give it a surname, if you will.
Yeah, I don't recall us being told to answer said call
No.
when advertisements were going around. The only advertisement I remember going around is that reaction video of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. I think it was Stay Puft, or it was just a generalized ghost that's just watching the trailer and then shoots himself in the face and blows his ghost brains out the back of his head.
I don't remember that.
Really? You don't remember that? That's one
No.
of the few things I do remember. Just the biggest backlash maybe that I can remember being out there for a movie.
I do remember the angry video game nerd making a video saying, I'm not going to review this movie. I'm not going to see this movie. He really firmly planted his feet in the sand. And I'll say, I was not that person. I was just excited that we're going to get another Ghostbusters. Subsequent viewings have made it wane a bit for me.
It's a paradox. Even after rewatching it, I'm like, I don't know. It was better than I thought it was going to be when you initially showed it to me, because I was in James Rolfe's camp of not hating the idea of it, but just being, I don't know what to feel about this. I don't feel anything about this, so I have no motivation to go see it. And even watching the trailer, I'm like, is this a reboot? Is this a sequel? Are they just restarting from ground zero? Is this what? Where are we? Where do we stand here?
Yeah, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I'm gonna say, let's just say it's non-canon, right? It's its own thing. It's its own thing, as David S. Pumpkins would say. And
sure,
for that, you know what it does? It does kind of feel like it's a Saturday Night Live sketch.
There's a lot of, I feel like it's a mashup of a shit ton of small sketches.
Yeah, stretched to a feature, for sure.
Everything with Thor is that.
Oh, boy. And the wontons. Boy, we go back to the wontons a lot. But
the wonton never really got me. And I was, again, just like the movie in general, every time Chris Hemsworth is doing something, I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm annoyed by him and I want to smother him with a pillow, because the adult in me being like, this guy's a fucking idiot. This would be the worst person to work with. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? I have no idea what to expect when you're coming in. So let's liven it up.
Right.
From jump, because he's wearing glasses without lenses. He's like, oh, they were just getting in the way. and it's all the weird shit that he says and does. Like, he's funny, but then at the same time he doesn't do what he's hired to do, and the adult in me is annoyed at that.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I don't know how to feel about it.
Also, just go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. Rick Moranis, he ain't. You know, Rick Moranis, for as idiotic as he is in those previous 2 Ghostbuster films, serves somewhat of a purpose and is a traditionally likable character for as much of a buffoon as he is. And Chris Hemsworth is essentially an idiot that's eye candy. And it doesn't work as well.
Your initial reaction to Rick Moranis' character, if you were to see him in real life, is to be like,
hurry up and unlock your door and get in your apartment real quick.
Is that Hemsworth? My adult reaction to him as a person, seeing that character, if it was real life, would be, God damn it.
Yeah. So
I would want to just make weird shit up and just take him further down his own weird ass rabbit hole. But yeah, it's he's just, like I said, just like the whole movie in general, just a paradox of, like, I don't know how to feel about the Lady Ghostbuster reboot, the chick edition.
Yeah, yeah. It's tough to put into words, but I want to get one thing out of the way real quick. Also, no one really dies in this movie, save for Bill Murray's throwaway character.
Yeah, there's not a threat. That's another thing I walked away from the rewatches. There's no threat. There's definitely nothing that has scary sequence elements to it. A couple of the first 2 ghosts look all right.
They look good,
but
those first 2 are fire.
They look pretty good. But I mean, once they start spewing the slime, and nobody
it's for
reacts.
3D, beautiful 3D business.
Nobody reacts to that shit, though. Like, one's eating chips, one's just filming still in plane, feet firmly planted. Like, no one's
running,
selling what is happening here.
Yeah.
That's right. And they're all flying and have the same kind of MO, and some of them look straight up like they're from a cartoon. This is probably the best representation of the original cartoon put onto film.
Yeah. Well, so those first 2 ghosts, I was gonna say, to me, feel very Ghostbusters 1, Ghostbusters 2. Obviously, the electric chair guy is a nod to your Scolari brothers, but we hit a tipping point where we have a dragon, and the dragon to me is like, so there was a dragon that was real, and it died, and it's a ghost of a dragon, or what are we?
That entire sequence was annoying to me. Because, why do we have a dragon ghost? And 2, I was like, they are in again, nobody is selling that they are seeing a ghost dragon in a metal concert where Ozzy Osbourne just is there because he's there. But this is a full crowded metal show, and nobody is freaking out that A, that there's a ghost dragon, or B, that there are laser guns being fired all around them.
Maybe they think it's pyrotechnics.
Nobody gets hit either. Nobody has eye trauma from looking at the traps, or, 2nd or 3rd degree burns from, misfiring. Apparently these things are sniper rifle accurate when shooting anywhere in the vicinity of ghosts. It just happens to hit them. But yeah, I was just going back to in the first Ghostbusters, they just wreck. That whole dining room scene is just destroyed. Shit's on fire. Things are smoking. Just wrecked. And they essentially walk out of this rock show no problems.
Yeah, like heroes.
Yeah, nor is there any discussion on billing either. So, where are they getting the money? I don't know where they're getting the money to fund. They tried to get to the firehouse, but that's for the sequel that will never happen.
Never.
So they operate out of a Chinese restaurant attic floor.
More dumpling humor.
Yeah, I have no idea where they get the money to do this stuff. I mean, they steal some shit from the college, but they don't. There's never Not that I necessarily need it, but just thinking back, like, where are they getting the funding for this stuff?
From selling the book, apparently, where she's making like
the book
pennies
that
on the
has
dollar.
A few reviews. Yeah, we know that real well. Like, the company's made probably several grand, but the actual author, maybe a couple $100.
Gonna scrape by. So the thing with this movie, like you're bringing that up, like with the money and whatnot, there are things that they don't necessarily get super fleshed out in the original 2 films, but they're fleshed out enough that we understand where these characters come from, who they are, how they operate, whether that be the, Venkman doing his shoddy psychic stuff, Ray mortgaging the house and all that stuff. Like, we get enough to understand these guys are like your everyman. They're trying to make this business and all of this stuff. And we just kind of skim past all of that with the female Ghostbusters. And it moves lightning fast, but then also hits a skid somewhere in the...
It's lightning fast, but it's almost a 2-hour movie, and the extended edition is over 2 hours. But, But yeah, I mean, literally, I watched it yesterday. Thinking back, I'm like, okay, McCarthy and Kristen Wiig, they're just old school friends from back in the day. One wrote a book, and then they separated for reasons, and then they meet back up, and McCarthy has a new sidekick, which is Holtzman, so Kate Kinnaman.
Yeah, Kinnaman or McKinnon or whatever it is.
I think Kate McKinnon, I think it is. Steals the entire movie.
Oh, she's awesome.
I could really, you could drop the other 3 and just leave it as her, and I would be fine with it. And then our 4th Ghostbuster, Patty, who is the happiest person on Earth to be working in the subway system every day in New York City. That's more unbelievable than all the damn ghosts running around. She is just so wanting just to bullshit with everybody.
She's chipper.
Yeah, that. No, that is not realistic at all.
I want to say this. When the movie came out, a lot of people really, really hated on her. And I don't know I don't watch Saturday Night Live. I have not in years and years and years. So I don't know if she's a cast member or was a cast member in 2016. Okay, that clears it up. But a lot of people don't like her, and they spend a lot of time hating on her. And I think she's the second best Ghostbuster in the movie. Only to Holtzman, So, what's her name? McCarthy. By 2016,
she's I would feel is more controversially, not that she's done anything controversial, but it's that's where I'm she's really hit or miss.
Yeah.
With me. And her movies are the exact same.
See, and that's, what I was going to say is by 2016, not that I have a disdain for her, but by 2016, especially, I was I have seen you enough. And it's kind of where I'm at with, what's her name, the new Wednesday Addams, that Jenna Ortega. I like Jenna Ortega, but I'm reaching critical mass. I'm reaching my fill to where I'm stop being in every goddamn movie that I go see. Just for a while. Or go do some indie stuff. Go do something different. So you're not in every damn movie.
It makes sense if I was fantasy booking this cast of what's my criteria? We need to hit a lot of nostalgia points of the original cast of what we can get. Put in cameo roles, but you need an all-female Ghostbusters. Okay, who do I have? I would probably go right to SNL.
Well, that's what they did for the first Ghostbusters, right? They're all SNL guys.
SNL, Second City. But maybe if we just tried different ways to do the roles, particularly between McCarthy and Wiig. I feel like they're battling for which one is the brains of the operation. They really kind of go back and forth. And it's weird because Holtzman is our quirky character, but she's also brains because she's building a lot of very dangerous equipment that is being fired in an alleyway that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
all the time.
She's
She
100% Egon.
She makes a goddamn nuke and puts it on top of the car. Like, all this stuff, like, I was glad we at least have a sequence where higher-ups are getting involved, being like, you're making some very dangerous equipment.
Yeah.
But then that falls apart when they're like, go ahead and keep doing it, but we're going to say you are liars. So that should balance things out.
Yeah, that's as much...
Completely, like, they should be coming there black-bagging 3 of the Ghostbusters, taking Holtzman, and now she's working for the federal government.
Waterboarding them out in a desert, yeah.
No, just disappearing them. Just disappearing them because they know what's going on. You could probably just walk Hemsworth out into a lake and he'll drown himself. But you take Holtzman, and now she is working for the Defense Department. Like, we don't need... Fuck all your defense spending budget stuff. We don't need any more bullets, rockets, bombs, any of that stuff. We can just hire this woman, and she will make the laser guns of the future to take out anyone and everyone we could possibly think of that would conflict with us.
Laser bear traps out of, like, toasters and whatnot.
Yeah, she's making bear traps, fucking handguns, like
grenades.
Shit that looks like stuff that's in Ratchet and Clank, like
the
old commercial
or
for Ratchet and
Bioshock
Clank.
and stuff. Yeah.
Every commercial for Ratchet and Clank is shit that McKinnon is furiously writing notes like, I can make this and trap ghosts with it.
That's true. So
and they don't even like try capturing the ghosts. Like, in our big fight sequence at the very end, like, they're just more or less fighting ghosts, and half the time either the proton packs or a pocket watch, a pocket knife eliminates the ghosts. Like, they don't have to trap. They trap a ghost, the dragon, and they let it out and kill Bill Murray.
Yeah.
He's dead. That's our one death. We have one death in the movie. It is Bill Murray's character, the debunker, because he flies out a window backwards. We never see him again.
No, we don't. And he got paid handsomely to show up and have his one day on set or whatever.
Yeah, he probably maybe done that a couple of days. I'm sure he definitely wasn't anywhere there when they were doing the stunt sequence of it.
Oh no, that's totally a CG. That's totally a CG model for sure, falling out that window.
Yeah, the CG gives me a very Haunted Mansion appeal.
Oh yeah, it's the bright colors and stuff. It feels very.
Oh yeah, very neon.
It's for kids specifically.
Yeah.
But Ghostbusters walked that line of being like for your dad and your kid. Like, it's gonna have jokes.
Smoking in that movie.
Oh yeah, and ghost blowjobs, which, I mean, there's some slight sexual talk. Barely in this movie. Mainly it's
there's
not
more just
really.
like there's dumb fawning from Kristen Wiig over Hemsworth, which I was really surprised they didn't just go with that by the time the credits roll of like just like have him swoop her up and just be smooching for the credits. Like, I feel like every time I feel it's headed that way, but both times I've watched it didn't.
No, because he doesn't like her, so she keeps trying to hook up with him, and he just keeps walking away. Like,
but he's dumb enough. She could talk him in. She's smart enough. She could just convince him that it's true.
She's the closest thing to the Venkman rape paradox. She's very...
That's a whole scientific theory, the Venkman rape paradox.
Yeah. She's very rapey with Chris Hemsworth. Like, that's the only reason he works there is because she wants to try and hook up with him. Really. So...
who doesn't?
Yeah. I saw Cabin in the Woods.
I didn't become a fan until he cut his hair for whatever Avengers or Thor movie he made. I was like, the long hair, I was like, he looks stupid. But once he cut his hair, I was like, all right, I'm in.
So going back to the threat level in this movie, where do you
another
put
misstep?
This? Yeah, where do you put this quirky little bellhop dork?
He looks like the dude from Balls of Fury. But you just left him in the sauna for too long.
Yeah.
I don't... Now, granted, in the first original movie, we had the impending threat that didn't really manifest itself into we knew what we were dealing with until the end of the movie. This one, I don't really take him as a big threat. I initially watching, I'm like, so this ghost lady in this this tourism building is going to be the big bad. But
No.
then that's not the case.
We don't even get her, and she's awesome.
Yeah, and then we go to this guy building some contraption in his living space that has a bunch of mirrors with ghosts behind it, and then he has to kill himself to be the next step in his plan to lead the army of dead, which I don't like. None of these things seem pilgrims in New York City. It is stupid.
His plan is very not Jim Jones. What's that other guy? The Nike shoes guy. Cult. The cult guy.
The Hail Bop.
Yeah, his plan is very that guy.
I can't think of what the cult is. I will think of it as soon as
yeah.
The
As soon as we're
Kinsagos
done.
cult. The Kinsagos cult. Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate.
There you go. Yep.
I was gonna Kinsagos. Heaven's Gate. I got it. You say his name 3 times, you'll remember who you forgot.
It's the mantra. It's the mantra
Yes.
for why can't I remember shit.
I want the skip the Rape Paradox t-shirt. I want the Kinsagos mantra as a t-shirt.
It's just this Kinsagos and Kinsagos and Kinsagos.
Kinsagos. Like 4 times. It's Kinsagos and Kinsagos. I remember.
I have it. I have it figured out. Yeah, he's definitely a very weak villain. And so
When he transforms, it's not any better.
Oh,
Like he transforms literally into the symbol's ghost and then blows up to. I feel like that has to be like some kind of studio mandate, like note of like we want it to end it the same way. Like they got to be fighting some giant creature that's that's Godzillaing its way through the city.
yeah.
Which, again, I brought it up before. I will bring it up again. If I don't bring up the RoboCop melting man, I'm bringing it up. I just can't escape 9/11. Like I'm just seeing all these buildings get smashed and crushed by this giant ghost, and I'm like, this is 9/11 times 5.
Yeah, this is catastrophic. There are people in there like making copies, whatever, just getting smoked.
Yeah. Some CEO's banging the secretary in one of the higher up offices and texting his wife that he's on his way home right now. He's not actually nowhere near the office, and holy shit, there's a giant ghost that just smashed him. He's dead. Mm-hmm. And is that building? Is it back when the movie is said and done? Like, is all this stuff like reversed? Is it?
Yeah,
Did we get a
gate.
Critters like ending? Like everything is put back together and not blown up and destroyed?
Oh yeah, we're 100%.
Okay, because
I take it back.
I was like, did that all shit just like fix itself or like rewind time and not happen when they go into, because our lead baddie blows out of this vortex pit in a building, and the way that they decide by pure happenstance to solve the problem of all these ghosts is because Holtzman made a nuke essentially on the top of their hearse vehicle, that if Slimer, who had previously stolen the car and is joyriding with it, and he has found a lady Slimer now.
That is the definition of fan service. It's annoying fan service.
Yeah, they managed to guide it to fly into the vortex pit, shoot the car so it blows up and causes somehow exactly the same thing that happened in the first movie. Total
Protonic reversal.
Total platonic reversal.
Oh.
Platonic, protonic, total blah 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 reversal. They throw a lot of sciencey sounding words to try to sound super official, which somehow doesn't have the weight it does when Egon is saying it. But
No, it sounds like Donatello when Donatello's just saying words in the old Ninja Turtles cartoon.
Reverse the polarity of this. Yeah, Donatello can fix shit. He just pulls a floppy disk out and just taps it on some things and turns it around and sticks it back in. Like polarity reversed.
Yeah, put a
Dimension
9
X
volt
is going to suck itself into itself.
Gonna duct tape a 9-volt battery to the back of a floppy disk and solve every problem.
I'm gonna pimp my ride this entire van on the top floor of a building and then drive it down the steps that we pushed it up.
Yo, dog, we heard you like Hiroshima, so we put a nuke on top of your car. Sorry, too soon. That was a Pimp My Ride reference. Deep cut.
And then we have the whole McCarthy is grabbed by the giant ghost man.
Yeah.
And Wig has to fly into the vortex to try to save her, capture.
Poltergeist 2.
A bit. I was like, this is fantastical, but I was going with it enough. But once we got to that one, they're into some kind of, wherever the hell they are, they are in Dimension X.
Yeah.
Yeah, the neon further. This has really gone awfully far. That I don't know if is comebackable.
Yeah, no. So
and that they're able to pull them back out of it, like that hole just stayed open enough for them long enough to get pulled manually back out of this hole.
Yeah, you gotta, in case a sequel is possible. But,
and when we get all these like mid credits cut back to they have the firehouse scenes, I'm like, I would. Even though I'm like, how do you feel? Even the wife asked after the second watch, how do you feel? Like, I still don't know. But if they're like sequel, I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Holtzman with a unlimited budget now to make all the weird shit she wants to make. Definitely give me that. And
yeah.
I totally am fine with. That's probably the best cameo of the whole movie is that Sigourney Weaver is like her mentor.
Mm-hmm. And the Ernie. Get that little Ernie cameo. It's okay.
It's okay, but that as soon as it pulled up, I was like, so that's gonna be Patty's dad. Mm-hmm. Like that one, I predicted. Like I every time I'm like, hey, that guy was at my wedding party. Awesome to see Ernie Hudson. But of all the cameos we got, I'm like, I would want to see Sigourney Weaver's one come back.
Yeah, we did get Annie Potts. So
yeah, Annie Potts
cool.
and like throwaway as fuck.
Yeah, but it was
line,
cool having her there.
Just like Dan Aykroyd's. So as a taxi driver.
Oh yeah, that's a waste.
I think both him and Potts are wastes.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's just there specifically for us, so we can go. They were in the so we can tell our kids those were the originals, and it feels so hollow.
It feels like it's a checklist.
Yep.
Not a. Wouldn't this be cool to put this in here? Like that, like the better version of that is like when literally I'll use Dan Aykroyd as the example. In this Ghostbusters movie, Dan Aykroyd showing up is a checklist. Mm-hmm. Better cameo spots that he does.
I already know what you're going to say.
Which one? What am I saying?
You're going to say Casper?
Casper, yes. But also like in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. He's not a Ghostbuster, but he totally is in a role that if you like, that sounds like Dan Aykroyd. That is Dan Aykroyd in a total like side character sequence that only rewards paying attention to, and when your ears perk up because you hear a certain tone of voice, but it's right there in front of you, and he's got to do a line from the first movie. That's where it's like that's a box check. That's not like an Easter egg or like true. In my opinion, cameo.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'm right there with you on that.
Casper's awesome. It's weird that he has a mustache in that. That's where I was like, what the fuck? Can you shave that?
Well, in Ghostbusters 2, I remember sending you those coloring book pages, the official Ghostbusters 2 coloring book. He had a mustache. Ray has a mustache in the Ghostbusters 2 coloring book, which leads me to believe, did they shoot scenes where he had a mustache and then they were like, get that fucking thing off of there?
I don't know, but that's the weirdest part of. I feel like he just tried to I can grow Dan Aykroyd just had a phase where he's like, I'm gonna grow a mustache, and he's like, put that in everything, put that in the coloring books. I'm gonna wear it for the Casper movie. I'm not shaving this. I am going to be a mustache guy. And then someone told him what he looked like with a mustache.
He looked stupid. He should have had a big one like that dude from Mythbusters, like a full broom.
That would work a lot better than what he has. He has it's like 3 steps up from a John Waters stash.
Oh yeah, it's like a Vincent Price pencil.
He looks like a dude that is going to sell underground porn to you.
Out of a stained trench coat. What are you buying?
Yeah, and it's gonna like stick you when he opens the coat.
That's gross.
I take it too far.
Nah, never. No. Never.
speaking of taking it too far, is the I have no issue with like it being we're gonna have the ladies version of Ghostbusters because this was like the hot minute of everybody's like, let's give the women their just due. I'm like, cool, fine, yeah, let's do that. But the sequence where I'm like, is it taking it to the excess now when we have to have a scene where the 4 ghost ladies are proton packing the giant ghost in the dick?
Of course you have to have that, but it is egregious.
Like, why does he have ghost balls?
I don't know.
Why do they got to shoot the giant ghost guy in his crotch?
I don't know, Ray.
And then make point to it of like, we were supposed to shoot there, right? Yeah, that was the point.
That's their weak spot, It's where they store all their ectoplasm.
Oh, so all those other slime shots are money shots. Kristen Wiig got money shotted over and over with this movie. If that's if we're doing that logic, yeah.
Val Venus the ghost.
That's what we're saying here. That is a straight up money. Wiig gets money shotted throughout this entire film.
I do want to say also. I want to say this about the finale because I saw this in theaters. Visually, on a gigantic screen, that last 20 minutes of the movie looks spectacular. It looks really good.
I imagine it did. I would have loved to have seen this in a 4D experience. Like, that would be like, whoa.
Like the lasers coming off the screen and everything, all that cool stuff that they do. It looks awesome. And it's something that needs to be experienced like when you're watching it the first time. However, does not necessarily translate to a home viewing unless you're a rich person who has like a really nice home theater, a big like 120-inch screen or something.
It's like when they tried to really model 3D TVs for us. Like, looks neat. Like, it's a cool little novelty, but even when that was big and, gosh, what was that, 2010 or whatever?
Somewhere around there, yeah, for sure.
I was like, this is cool, but I don't know if this is substantial. Like, I don't know if everyone's like, I gotta see it in 3D. Like, it's a novelty. Like, it comes and goes like it did in the 80s. Like, it's a thing that's cool, but it's not gonna be something that's required. I don't need to watch the news in 3 dimensions.
You don't. We live it.
I don't need to watch, Jeopardy in 3 dimensions.
So as a result, that being at home, you really kind of start to notice that they're on like a sound stage or they're all green screened or whatever.
Oh yeah.
All of that. So all of the steam that's involved in that cool, like you said, there's no threat, but they're just constantly shooting lasers and blowing up ghosts or whatever they're doing because they're not trapping ghosts. They're not. It's not like
I think it's the equivalent of a fireworks show. If you're watching a fireworks show at some theme park or whatever that's doing it, you're like, whoa, awesome. And when you get Ghostbusters 2016 on home video and you're watching it on your TV in your living room, it is like watching fireworks on your TV. Like,
yes, I was gonna say
it looks okay, but it's not like I'm there.
Yeah, it's like watching a really good fireworks display and filming it on your phone, and then coming home and then forcing everyone to watch like a 20-minute video of fireworks on your phone. Like, look at how cool that is.
The home video of the 4th of July last year. We're going to watch it before we do this year's 4th of July.
And it's like, oh, kill me now. Some of it doesn't work. And I hate
that. I hate that effect. I had that, granted, I was on edibles at the time, but when we watched...
Disclaimer.
Yeah, when we watched the third Harold and Kumar movie, the Christmas movie.
I never saw it.
I was like, that's the only time I watched it was that one time, and I felt like the entire movie was shot from like the waist up on them, and it was just them changing green screen backgrounds the entire time. Ooh. I need to rewatch it to see if that was more edibles that was taking effect of that, or if that was really what's going on. But that just annoyed me and took me out of it entirely. Which there's spots of that in this one where they're not there at all. There's nothing tangible about what's going on here in any way, shape, or form.
No. It feels very, Hollywood backlot, green screen, constantly. But I feel a young audience, like your kids, when this came out in 2016, so my son would have been 7, right? Perfect. My son thought it was awesome. My daughter thought it was awesome. It was a really good Ghostbusters experience for a child. And I know that Snarls, Dylan's kids, they liked it. I know that Claus watched it with you and thought it was fun because you did the review on the YouTube channel.
She was a huge fan of Holtzman.
How can you not be? And
which I was like, she steals the entire movie. Like, she is every scene she's in. I was like, I am just watching what she's doing. She kills it, and I love her style sense too. Which I know Claus was like just also taking feverish notes. Like, I'm gonna just copy a lot of the stuff that she's got because I just felt that watching. I was like, she's just gonna be taking style tips from this character.
Oh, she's the embodiment. She's the ambassador of the movie. If you take anything away from this movie, it is Holtzman.
Yeah, and she's an SNL cast member and always does really well in all those skits that I've seen. I don't think I've watched an SNL like live in probably 25 years.
Yeah, you and I are definitely the same boat.
Yeah, but we've all seen clips on the YouTube that like make the rounds of ones that are big hits.
Yeah.
And anyone I've ever seen where she's in it, I'm like, she always is doing well. And it fucking sucks because this movie got such gatekeeping poison from people that she isn't doing more major movies and doing that. Like, she perfectly fit that side character that's like always the most interesting person on the screen. You never give them the whole movie because we don't know how that would actually turn out, like Joey from Friends. Like, just keep him in that site. Let's keep him just enough that we are interested.
Yeah, lost in space.
Yeah, we shine too much light, then I don't know if it'll work.
The mystery is gone. Yeah.
But I don't know about McKinnon. I would love to see more from her.
Yeah.
And I really feel like because this movie got the cards were dealt the way they were, that she probably suffered probably as much as Leslie did, because I don't think McCarthy lost any steam from it. And
not
Kristen
for a while.
And Kristen Wiig is still doing. I mean, I literally have to deal with her right now doing Target advertisements as her Target Karen character, which I fucking hate.
Police.
They're coming to take me away. Haha, they're coming to take me away.
Yeah, and you know, let's be 100% honest. When this movie was announced, I feel kind of like we already knew that it was not going to be received well. Even though I went to the theaters and saw it,
yeah,
I had zero expectations and was like, no one is gonna like this, you know. But my kids had such a good time. The wife and I had a good time, and I thought, you know, it's diet right Ghostbusters. It's the best we can have, especially in 2016. Like, they got the logo. Close enough.
It's all shit that would have been fine if it was made 20 years before it was. Like Nightmare 2, Friday 5 and 9, like movies that really kind of went another direction from the franchise or the series, and they all did fine. Did sequels after the fact, like Halloween 3. Like,
oh yeah,
good lord! Try to imagine that world if Halloween was made for the first time a couple of years ago, and then Season of the Witch came out as Halloween 3.
Oh, you mean Halloween Ends? When Halloween Ends came out and everyone hated it? Yeah. that happened.
But that still at least is in the same world. Season of the Witch, I mean, that's literally taking the first two movies and saying that was a movie. Like, people be lighting theaters on fire, for God's sakes. Like, people are so gatekeep poisony today.
Yeah, entitled.
And looking back, and I'm like, man, I feel like if you're like, give me some examples of where you think some of this started, or at least that got the ball, maybe not started, but definitely got the ball rolling a lot faster down the hill and ready to smash into Chris Farley and David Spade. I would say Ghostbusters 2016 is a big pillar of one of those holding up the the toxicity of. And I can't fucking stand those people that are like, it's ruined, it's raped my childhood,
Yeah.
nothing's the same. Like, go get fucked.
The other stuff still exists. You can take it off the shelf and watch it.
Go see it, yeah. If you don't want to, like I was telling you with Halloween, I was like, well, you don't like it, you don't have to go buy it day one.
Yeah,
maybe,
and I didn't.
Maybe buy it for a couple dollars afterwards. Maybe if there's some sequels you don't like in a series, go ahead and sell them. I got rid of Mission to Moscow with the Police Academy series when I bought it, and I still don't feel bad about it. 1 through 6 is all I got. There is a extra season of Scrubs that I just didn't like. It doesn't exist to me. Like I just watch up to the second to last season. I go, all right, I'm done here. This is where I stop. Lethal Weapon series, I stop after season 2. They replace Riggs. It's not the same. Not interested. Love Sean William Scott, but I just stop after 2. That's all you got to do, people. Just stop.
Yeah, just
and
stop.
You're fine.
So yeah, the Ghostbusters thing. Interestingly enough, we had a similar thing with the Ninja Turtles with the Michael Bay movies, but they didn't get nearly the amount of toxicity that Ghostbusters got. I mean, there was a meme, of Raphael, I think, spray painting a wall that said, like, Michael Bay sucks. And that's pretty much like, I know people were like, they don't look like they look.
Maybe because that's more for kids. Maybe that's more of a kid. There's like a weird cross between adult and kids for Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, even though they're both huge, I feel like Ghostbusters maybe a slightly wider audience than the Turtles, but yeah, I feel like the Bay Turtles just kind of scud missiled. They just kind of crashed and burned. Which the second one was,
but it got a second one.
Yeah, they got a second one and course corrected. I feel a lot of stuff.
It was better.
I have no issues at all with how the second one kind of went, which is oddly kind of similar to this Ghostbusters movie, where there's a big vortex of shit flying up in the air in New York City, and they got to reverse everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Polarity reversing.
I love you guys.
Yeah, we went to see it in the theater. It was fine. And then another Ghostbusters. I hardly make it to the theater anymore, but I'd be like, you know what? I probably would give that a whirl. Let's try to make it to that one.
Yeah. Well, you did see Afterlife.
I saw Afterlife. Still haven't seen the new one out now, the Frozen Empire. But I did blind buy Afterlife on disc day one. I didn't make it to the theater for it, but I did straight up I'm just gonna buy this.
Yeah, I went to theater day one, but still haven't purchased it. So we kind of did the exact opposite. Yeah. Because I was like, I'll buy it day one, and then day one came, and then day 2, and day 3, and day 4, and now here we are a couple months removed, and I still have, or over a year, right? And I still haven't picked it up.
Yeah, it's
been a hot minute.
I didn't think they would do a sequel, to be honest. When we got done with Afterlife, I figured this might be it.
It's a nice little feather in the cap. It ends well.
It ends with that sequel potential of letting us know that there could be another one. But if it didn't, adventures will continue. We just won't see them.
Mm-hmm. You leave satiated, like you had a really good meal. There's maybe room for dessert, but if
it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I'm still fine.
Yeah, I'm good. I had a good night out. So
this one's kind of the same way. I'm fine. It's good. I said from Jump Street, had just no motivation to scope it out, and then I was at your house, and you're like, I'm gonna throw that on, and I think you'll at least be amused by it and watch it. I was like, all right, yeah, that was fine, and then got home and since it'd been a long while, it had been out, I could get a Blu-ray for $5.
Yeah.
So snagged it, got the regular and extended versions of it, and this is fine, this is cool, and it's weird because even when I was like, okay, we're gonna review it, so getting up to the point of putting it into the player, I'm like, But then once I got it in the player, I was like, yeah, this is fine. This actually went by pretty quick. Yeah. I felt like I told her I was like, I might be compelled to want to fast forward a few bits here and there. Just fair warning, but I didn't. I was like, I set the controller down, and I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep going. This is fine.
It's like a, I don't know, like a good little stupid snack food. You know, it's like it's not gonna replace your meal, but it's like an oatmeal cream pie or whatever. You know, it's a fudge round. Like yeah, felt like something kind of sugary and stupid. It's not good for me. You know.
And is it too commercial? I feel like it's slightly, definitely not that the first or the second movie are like underground or, you know, independent films, but I feel like it's very like mainstream A-list stuff when you have Andy Garcia as the mayor now, as opposed to some random we don't know, which I love. Probably my favorite line of the whole movie is like, "Don't compare me to the mayor from Jaws."
Yeah, that's a good throwaway line.
But like, yeah, with him, with Ozzy Osbourne in throwaway scenes, and just even, I mean, we have them trying to do the Ghostbusters song, which
I was
it
going to
sounds
say
all
the
right.
theme song.
It sounds fine in clips in the movie. Hearing the entire song standalone, I'm like, I don't like this at all.
No. It's not good. So whoever that is, it's like Fallout Boy or something. I don't have an issue. I don't like Missy Elliott. So
I was thinking like when they start playing DMX, I was like, is this too mainstream for Ghostbusters?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like obscure 80s hits.
The DeBarge,
From
The Last Dragon.
That was fine. I was very all right with that. But when the DMX kicked in, I'm like, is this too mainstream for it? Like, even though that's an old song by 2016 standards and even more by today.
You don't say that.
I just did. I have to. We're getting older, sir. We have to. I literally was watching a video with the wife yesterday where they completely mispronounced the word Chernobyl.
Wow.
I was like, oh, yeah, because we're old. We're so old that is something that kids just don't know automatically. That is something that they could misinterpret. Yes, we're old. So I was like, is DMX too mainstream? Like hitting like obscure 80s hits is fine.
Okay.
But I feel like past 2000, 2001, which is still 2 fucking decades ago.
Yeah.
I was like, is that too mainstream for Ghostbusters? Like, would I feel the same way if at Ghostbusters 2 they started playing DMX? Like, if that's what's playing. Give me some different jams of that. What they decided to play when they were walking the Statue of Liberty down New York City.
Some Taylor Swift. You know? So, it does have a very clean commercial appeal to it. And I think the reason being is I feel like it had a very, very big budget.
Oh,
because they put a lot of eggs in that basket of, hey man, we own this IP. Let's dance, you know. Let's get the Ghostbusters Monopoly board. Let's get the Ghostbuster Happy Meals. Let's do all the Ghostbuster cross promotion, and let's lean really hard into this because there's no way it's gonna fail. It's sequel bait guaranteed, built-in audience, new audience, like money. This is a money machine. So they threw a lot of money at it. And, then, of course, as soon as the trailer dropped, I think it was like one of the most thumbs down videos in YouTube history, I think.
As at least of when it came out, I believe it was famous for being one of the more hated videos, which is funny that even in the movie they have several times where they reference YouTube.
Yeah.
And people are just shitting on all the comments, of them posting like the video of them in the subway tunnel and then them coming out of the first, like literally the first 2 interactions they had with Ghost. I don't know who decided to upload the video.
It was Kate McKinnon.
I was like, just upload the video and only I guess a few minutes of it, and just them just going through like, and I was like, did they know, like, was that like going back and getting reshoots of them just making comments on like, well, your YouTube trailer was so hated, like let's just put some YouTube comment and trailer hate in the movie.
100% that was a pickup scene, no doubt in my mind.
I just poke him a little bit more.
I think the Ghostbusters trailer and Rebecca Black Friday are like the most hated things on YouTube, or were at that point in time. One thing we haven't mentioned, cast-wise, our main man, Benedict, from Last Action Hero, is in the movie.
Which I straight up, when I saw him, I was like, I've just killed a man.
I said the same thing. I'd like to confess. The exact quote.
In two different worlds on two different days, we had the exact same reaction when we saw him on screen again.
Mine was 6 o'clock this morning, though.
Mine was about 6 o'clock the other night.
He hates his boss. He calls him a Sicilian schmuck.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I wonder what that guy has been up to since, he's not been apprehended for shooting people in Last Action Hero.
Not been shooting at Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But, like, overall consensus, as much as we've been, like, ripping on this is a fine intro.
I said we keep coming back to it's fine.
It is. It's a fine introductory vehicle. This is, like, you had no interest in watching it, really, at that point in time, and I was like, I think you're gonna at least vibe a little bit. Like, it has enough in there for us to make us happy, but it also has stuff in there that will annoy us. And it kind of walks that line. It never leans too hard into just annoying you or too hard into fan service. We might tip a little much in fan service, but it's fine. It's a fine movie. Not as bad as the world says it is.
Yeah.
But it ain't great.
It's, like I said, it's one of the most, it's a paradox of a movie. Because I was like, how do you feel about it? I was like, I still don't know. Like, it's a movie I'm not psyched to throw into the player, but I'm fine once it is.
It's frozen pizza. Like, I could order pizza or make, like, homemade pizza, but frozen pizza will be done in 15 minutes and is okay.
It's like, when I'm done, I'll be like, that was good. Let's do that again.
Yeah. So you're
let's
in the
order
bathroom.
it again. Order it again.
Yep.
Yeah, it's an ideal movie if you're like us. If you decide on Halloween night to break a projector out and throw some movies up on a screen when trick or treaters are rolling past, like, it's a very, very good for something like that. Like, there's never anything you can watch this 8 a.m. in the morning or 6 a.m. in the morning. In your case, there's never anything to be shielding from. It's very cookie cutter goofy, but it's fine.
Yeah, and colorful, which is, I find,
ultra colorful.
Something that is
if I was selling new TVs, 4K, like 96-inch TVs, this would be a movie I would put on repeat.
Oh God, yeah.
Just look at these colors, man.
Woo,
Forget all
yeah.
that shit of like butterflies landing on flowers and shit. Like, just show Ghostbusters 2016 and people are like, this is the most vibrant TV I've ever seen in my life. Sold. I'll take 2. Utah, give me 2.
Check out these blues and these pinks. Yeah, they really, it's so colorful that I feel like it will grasp attention. And that's a thing for younger kids because they're so quick to chase
words don't
other
mean
things.
shit.
Yeah.
They're TikTok trained for short-term enjoyment. So, yeah. Bright, pretty, like in basketball, they have no concept of the sport, but they're nonetheless impressed by their bright, pretty colors and flashing lights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like The Simpsons when they are in Japan and they watch that anime or whatever, and they all have seizures. They're laying on the floor. Like, that's this movie. If you have it on, or if and you just walk through, it does kind of tractor beam you just a smidge, like what? And it can hold you. There's only like maybe a 20-minute span before the finale where I feel that runtime. I feel it kind of drag, and that's when McCarthy gets possessed. And then
I thought that was going to be more, and it's dropped immediately.
Mm-hmm. And then we possess Kevin.
Yeah, which
do the
is
dance
strange.
Or whatever.
I was like, oh God, don't let there be a dance sequence.
That's a deleted scene, is a dance sequence.
I was like, that might be over the bridge too far, even beyond the neon further. Is it like if we have an entire dance sequence here for zero reason?
It's a deleted
whatsoever.
scene. It's a deleted scene. Thank God.
Definitely thank God. Although adult eyes watching again, I was amused that they decided to fire Kristen Wiig as a professor just because she's in a 4-minute YouTube video where she's just saying ghosts are real.
I like ghosts.
Like, I feel that's not a fireable offense.
Maybe writing the book, but like
the book is already like it's old at this point. They literally are like she's covered in goo outside of a building, and then she's saying ghosts are real, and they're like, you know what, we really don't need you here anymore. And it's a straight up Office Space sequence when the other two are fired because they're like, it's straight up like we didn't know they were still on the payroll. Like they all three get fired and they take it pretty well, and all for things that's like, is that really a fireable offense?
I don't know that you can be, unless it was offensive, but it's not offensive to say I think ghosts are real.
No, she's not, you know, there's no swastikas behind her. She's not beating up on minorities.
Yeah.
She's not on some
whipping her elderly grandma. Like
I really don't think ghosts are that conspiracy theoritorial anymore.
I have one last thing before we move on to other sections because we haven't brought it up yet. So we're real light on the scares in this movie.
Ultra light.
The scariest sequence in the movie is when Kristen Wiig is telling the story of when she saw a ghost when she was a kid. When the mean neighbor lady died. She tells the story. The mean neighbor lady died, and then every night for a year she stood at the foot of her bed and just stared at her. The story itself is scary, and I wish to God we got
flashbacks.
We had a cutaway, so we could at least have that.
That would have worked.
The ghost in the taxi cab, or at least the librarian ghost, something that has that childlike terror factor.
Yeah, not equating it to the Indianapolis story from Jaws, but that is the closest we get to an Indianapolis story from Jaws is when she's telling that tale. And if we just kept her voice going and just give us some flashes of that would have been that would have worked right there.
Yeah, because you'd have your Insidious level scary elderly person,
and that's PG-13. They totally could have done that and got away with it.
Yeah, and it would give a bunch of kids in the theater and nightmares, and it would have been awesome. Like, it would have been, because then all the kids would go home and be like, I love that movie, but that one part really scares me. And then it's like, boom, there's your hook.
Yeah, that's Ghostbusters.
Mm-hmm. Because Ghostbusters is fun as shit, but then there are things that make you go, I don't like that, And
then you have the scapegoat of, well, they defeated them all, so they're heroes. Like, they faced that adversity and overcame it.
Yeah, but half the city's destroyed.
Or is it? I don't know.
Everyone has radiation poisoning from the nuke going off on top of the car. Everyone's losing their eyebrows, yeah.
That was a slight addition. I was like, they have no reaction at all from like this other world they were in, but their hair goes pure white, which I definitely agree with Kevin. Like, that makes you look much older. Like, it does. McCarthy looks 40 years older with the white hair. Like,
the battery's not included or whatever.
It's like, right, yeah. Like, you should be operating a diner with little alien UFOs assisting you right now.
I'm thinking of Cocoon. Whatever one's the one with the old ass people. Is that battery's not
both.
included? Okay, yeah. That's why I got them. That's why I always get them confused.
There's little aliens assisting the old people in Batteries Not Included, and in Cocoon, they're just making old people younger with aliens.
Yes, there you go. Maybe they were on the same tape when I was a kid. I think I've had this conversation with you before. Like,
potentially. I have not watched Cocoon in so long. I don't think I've ever even found it on disc anywhere. But I do have Batteries Not Included. I did find that for a whole $5 and snatch that sucker up immediately.
That's a score, dude.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah. We almost forgot. Even though no one really dies other than Bill Murray, Brown Panty Award. Let's go ahead and cue that Brown Panty Award theme song.
Oh, baby. It's time to slip into something a little more comfortable. It's time for the Brown Panty Award.
My Brown Panty Award is just going to go to Patty. Leslie Jones, is that her name?
I think so.
Leslie Jones or Leslie Jordan or whatever. And again, it just goes back to me saying, because the internet is never kind, but the internet was not kind to her at all. And I like her character in this movie. Like you said, she's like overly positive. And she has some of the best. The one thing from this movie that I quote the most is, "Get out of my friend, Ghost." I say that all the time.
That's so. I was not big on when she's doing the classic like scared and talking to herself thing. I gotta get like this is some bullshit. I don't know if it's a woman thing or a black thing, but somebody better pick me up. That also, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Plus, you just landed on your back. 2 people fall flat on their back with
unlicensed
this
accelerator, nuclear accelerator.
Yeah, and like there's either no damage to their back or to this device. It's just get up and go. I'm cool.
What if it was like
exactly how I wanted that to look?
Like what are those landmines from like fucking World War II? You know, you would like hit them and then you could throw them and they'd explode. Like, what if the backpack was like that? Like you tink it just right, and then it's just like, it just neutralizes everybody on the floor.
Holtzman's like, oh, you found that tiny gap in the thermal exhaust.
The mercury switch, you know, like a fucking pipe bomb.
Yeah, like I'll fix that.
Yeah, they only
tomorrow.
like to be upright. They don't like to be laid down flat. If they lay down flat, they fucking explode.
Yeah. Leslie Jones blows up and Holtzman's like, I did not see that coming.
All of a sudden turns into Full Metal Jacket.
I'll fix that. And then Kristen Wiig falls later and she blows up. She's like, I forgot to fix that.
See, that's hilarious. We
kill half the Ghostbusters.
Do you have a Brown Panty Award? Does it?
I will give it to. I'm giving it to Kate McKinnon's film career because I feel like she has the most potential out of all 4 of them to be like, give me more of anything in major motion pictures. And I feel that the vitriol that come off of this, or maybe she doesn't want to. Maybe I'll try to frame it in my mind that way. Is maybe she just didn't. She prefers the
TV.
Small screen and TV. She doesn't want to do movies. But to me, I was like, McKinnon's career is the Brown Panty because I really want more. Of her.
I'm with you on that too. So I think both are solid and
deserving.
Warranted. Yeah, deserving. But now that we're done defending and shitting on this movie, what does that mean?
Let's go back to vitriol. Amazon 1-star reviews time. Cue it.
Hated it.
CD, March 8th, 2024. 1 star. Worthless. This movie stank from beginning to the end. Tried to be funny, wasn't there. Then add phallic sexual innuendos with a touch of racism. This junk came out. Another Hollywood flop trying to keep up with idiotic PC world. Don't waste your time.
I feel like that's a review of our podcast.
Oh, we are not racist. But I will definitely give you phallic sexual innuendos.
Trying to keep up with the PC world, baby.
Literally the PC world, not the peace politically correct world.
We don't know how computers work.
No, we literally are old men doing Snapchat back and forth, being like, my shit's looking like this. Is this right? No, it should look like this. Is this right? I don't know.
One day we'll get it all figured out.
Yep. Fiasco Smithereens, August 13th, 2022. 1 star. No, just no.
He's falling down a flight of stairs.
Yeah, I'm sure that people who have never seen the original Ghostbusters 1 and 2, probably this movie is great. Since I saw the original ones when they came out, I think this one is awful. So awful. I just did not like the storyline at all. Paying homage to the previous movies was good, but I just don't like the humor. But then the only actress out of the 4 that I can stand is Melissa McCarthy, so there's that. That's a interesting take.
Yeah, very strange.
I'm just kind of over all the movie remakes. There isn't much thought process going into movies lately. That's probably the only true statement I agree with of this entire review.
Yeah. Big Melissa McCarthy fan. Not that there's anything really truly wrong with her. I was just fucking tired of her.
I don't
She's a
mind
very
Melissa
specific-
McCarthy, but some of where she's the most Melissa McCarthy to me is in that fight sequence. She's like, I really don't like you especially,
Yeah.
and you. As I was like, that is too McCarthy.
I think it's suffering a tad bit from all of them are comedians, so there's a lot of ad-libbing, and certain movies can benefit from it. Like a Bill Murray ad-libbing is really deadpan and not over the top. You know what I'm saying? And then other comedians, they just tend to just try to outdo one another.
That, or some people are good about just portraying a different character than what they are any other time. Like literally, like Mike McKinnon, she is very different. She is doing something very different than I've seen her do in other things. I feel like McCarthy is Melissa McCarthy.
Always.
It's Melissa McCarthy in Ghostbusters. It's Melissa McCarthy in her TV show, Mike and Molly. It's Melissa McCarthy in The Heat. It's the same get up.
Yeah.
Only she dabbles very slightly in she's the brains, but she's not the brains. There's all three are brains. And I'm like, we don't need three brains. There should be one brain. There should be a heart. There should be strategic, which I thought for sure rewatching. I was like, so Leslie joins in. I wanted to be like, they bring her in because she's very good with the historical accuracies.
Yeah.
Like she's knowledgeable of where they are. I thought that's going to be her hook. And then she's just like, I'm just going to join you guys. And they're like, all right, cool. Like, you lean into that. Like I was digging when she was explaining the prisoner execution aspect of things. Like that should be her hook. That should be what they were going to bring Ernie Hudson in initially to be like the strategic fighting guy.
Yeah.
Didn't entirely work out, but I would have liked if that was what they stuck with for Leslie's character. If Patty was just super knowledgeable of shit going on in New York City. That would just distinguish them.
Perhaps if they got a sequel, they would have been able to not make them all the same person plus Patty.
Yeah.
She's the only one that's different, and I feel like the reason she's different is ethnicity. That's literally it. It's almost like
and it comes off that way because they're like, well, we had a black Ghostbuster in the original, we got to bring her in here. But if they just give you that reason of, well, she's very knowledgeable of the city and we're not, we should probably invite her in, then it's acceptable to me.
Yeah.
Then it makes sense. Then it's not, it's not feeling like a checkmark box. It
Someone
feels
who
like planning.
Someone who understands we can't shoot the proton pack down here because there are electrical wires in the wall or whatever. They know
The structural integrity is such because of canals or other tunnels going on, stuff like shit like that. Yes. Or if she should have been the one doing the map when the map is getting drawn. Like she should be doing all that.
Yes. Retroactive fixes that we wish we could do.
Yes. C.S. Simmons, 87, on New Year's Day, 2017. What a way to spend your New Year's. 1 star. I feel dumber for having watched this film.
Must have got it for Christmas.
I went into the film with low expectations. I saw the previews and it didn't look good. However, my expectations weren't low enough. It starts off strong, but once the opening credits roll, it quickly devolves into garbage. Vaginal fart jokes, repeated jokes, and Chinese food. Which I like that this person immediately assumes it's a vaginal fart joke. It's just a fart joke.
She says it comes out of the front end, so it's a queef joke, but still. The Chinese food is the biggest thing for me. It's like, how many times are we going to go back to this fucking wonton and this shrimp and this fucking soup and this who gives a fuck?
And that is the most and maybe it's the most sexist line I'll pop out here is, that is the most unfemale thing in the world. If their fucking order is wrong once, they're on warning. If they fuck it up twice, we're never eating there again. Mm-hmm. She orders from there 3 goddamn times.
In an hour and a half, yeah.
Yes. As for the villain, well, there is one. He has 0 personality, is completely forgettable. In fact, my original review, this is apparently a rewrite. I forgot to even mention the villain. That's how forgettable he is. Yeah. It is clear that the writers wanted you to walk away thinking, those quirky, clumsy women, they're so adorably funny, but instead I felt like my intelligence had been lowered from watching 2 hours of witless nonsense. I like these. Like, I wrote that, and he's like, you know what? I forgot to mention the villain. Shit, delete.
Start all over again from scratch.
I'm making. That's a New Year's resolution he made right there. I'm gonna let the world know how I feel about these fucking movies.
Making my memoirs, ma.
And our final 1 star on February 8, 2022 from Dr. Austin. What? 1 star? This movie's painfully dumb. I was born in 1985. The original 2 movies. What? What is this supposed to be? A remake? What? A different take? What? I don't know. The plot in the script is flat out boring and not even that funny. I lasted about 45 minutes before I gave up and found something else to watch. Hit the wife with a stunner, put her head right here, turned it so slightly, wham, dropped her. 1, 2, 3, she's looking at the lights. Stone Cold said so.
Wham, dropped her, baby. Oh boy.
There's you
45 minutes.
A taste of the 1 stars.
Oh, I bet it just goes on for page and page and page.
Yep, I was like, I'm just gonna get a few here. Most of them is something that we run into a lot, where they decide that they need to write a Stephen King's novel's worth of a review.
We don't need that.
Takes longer to read than watching the fucking movie.
Yep, no, that's what we're here for. Not you. Yep. You don't get the full spotlight.
We're here.
Well, and you know, if it intrigues you, you are more than welcome to zip on over to Amazon.com. Not a sponsor, not an affiliate, not nothing.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Used to be.
And take a gander at some of those 1-star reviews, because I'm sure they're amusing. That's why we do this, because they make us giggle, and hopefully they make you giggle as well. But now that we're done with those Amazon 1-star reviews, Evil, what does that mean?
It's time to cut the shenanigans and horseplay. It's time to play the game.
Oh, it's time to play the game. The clock game.
It's all about the game and how you play it. Booyah, emphasis on the boo.
Oh, boo nah? I don't know, but that's right. It's time to play the game. And if you're new here, welcome. But you're probably scratching your head asking yourself, what is the game? Well, the game is a deep cut in and of itself, where you got to pick a prop from the movie that we are covering, but it can't be a well-known prop. So since we're covering Ghostbusters 2016, same kind of as the last movies. No jumpsuits, no proton packs, no traps. And I'm going to just, since there's a litany of proton pack-esque items, let's just eliminate all of the ghost busting equipment in general. And you probably can't have Ecto-1 or whatever we're calling the hearse.
Yeah. I think it's an Ecto-1.
Yeah.
We don't get that, I think, till the very end. We get the doors opening Ecto-1 reveal.
Yeah, so yeah. You can't have the hearse. Don't take any of the well-known stuff. Pick something weird. Pick something odd. Let us know on the comments on the podcast. Let us know on Discord, Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you find us, because we want to know. And Evil, I think you and I may end up with the exact same prop, which doesn't happen very often, but I think it's going to happen.
It happens more often than I would like to admit.
Every great once in a while. Was it last week that we get the same prop?
It might have been, but I feel like we hit the same prop more often than not.
Yep.
On this. So, what you got?
So I always preface by, there's a lot of props in these movies. You go this way, you go this way. For me, there's only one prop. There's only one way you go, and that is the statue of Harold Ramis. So I don't know what you picked, but that's mine because Harold Ramis.
Again, because I'm such a huge McKinnon Holtzman fan, and I had a period of time in high school where I wore the exact same tinted lenses. I want her goggle glasses.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, that's totally on the table. That does not count as jumpsuit or
her goggle glasses or her other goggles that's above her head that is also the same yellow tinted kind of shade to it. I'm like, both of those are cool. I like that.
Super dope. Man, well, that's awesome that we didn't have the same prop, because I totally thought we were both going to be like, Harold Ramis, you know?
No.
You don't want a bust of Harold Ramis just like chilling in your living room, watching you watch movies?
You know, it was something when I got done with the movie, I was like, shit, I didn't think of a single goddamn thing throughout the whole movie. I was like, I want that, or I want that. Nothing hit. And then I was like, what would I take? I was like, I do like Holtzman's glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just one of her key, like, character elements is those glasses and eating a tube of Pringles.
The other throwaway prop, which would have been is acceptable, but it's not as cool, would have maybe been the book that they wrote. I think it would be kind of cool to have on the shelf, you know. But yeah,
I feel like that's in the same boat as if you wanted the fucking wonton bowl or bucket or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't. Just
that's
makes
a lot of soup. That container is a lot of soup. No matter if it's low wonton or high wonton, it's a lot of soup.
Makes me just want wontons.
I've dealt with a delivery service that's that slow before. Not one that's literally directly underneath us, but I've dealt with one that's probably within 10 minutes walking distance away, and then still took them 90 minutes to get to my house. So I identified with that.
I've been there as well. Our one gas station that makes pizza, which is literally like 3 blocks away from my house. You'll order it at 5 o'clock and it'll be like, we start delivery at 5:30, so you'll have it by 5:50. And more often than not on Friday nights before our live stream, we're doing our pre-call at 7:30 to 8 p.m. and the pizza shows up mere moments before we go live. So they've had 2.5 hours to get pizza 3 blocks. That's always fun.
I feel like we could take one of your legs away and you could still get there and pack faster.
No doubt, dude. I could walk on my fucking hands faster, and I can't walk on my hands.
You're doing the crab walk all the way down there.
Trying to
make up the time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But definitely, let us know your props in all of those places, one of those places, wherever. But I can't believe it, dude. 100 episodes. And since they're bi-weekly episodes, that's a fucking long time. That is a long time, dude. It actually popped up in my memories maybe last week when we launched the podcast, and it's been 3 years.
It's been long enough. I was in a completely different place in my house when we started doing this, and now I'm in a different place entirely with excessive amount. Yeah, mentally, physically, and with a shit ton more equipment than what I was doing it with then.
Yeah.
It was borderline a string and a cup recording 100 episodes back, and now I've got shit I don't even know how to work at all at the moment.
And
still literally learning it today.
To this
and
day.
Recording on it.
And with the next 100 episodes, we will be
getting worse.
Yeah, we'll be transforming, doing some different things. We'll be doing some shows together, side by side, because we're building a set. I'm sure there will be episodes like this where we are not together, but there will be episodes where we're together, and it's going to be different. It's going to look different, sound different, have some different segments that we're working on, and we're just branching out, stretching this podcast out, making it a little different, even though keeping the exact same formula, but giving you guys just a little bit more ramblings.
Think of it like leveling up.
Yes.
Still the same game, but we're going to get way sweeter armor.
I like that.
Maybe a cooler sword.
And perhaps some yellow goggles.
Yeah. After you've done 100 episodes, that's where you level up the next to get new equipment.
Next time I see you, you better have fucking yellow lenses, dude.
You know, I looked at them. I was like, these look so cool, but you have no peripherals at all. And I'm in my head, I'm like, could I live without peripherals? And I'm like, probably at this point, but
I feel like
it'd be an adjustment period for sure.
I feel like yellow glasses are for people who shoot guns professionally. I don't know it makes me think you would aim better, but
I got super used to it. Like, I had a year where I bought yellow. They were the cheapest lenses at the eyeglass shop. And I was like, I want those. And I wore those, and I was like, you know what? I got used to it. Like, it didn't feel like I had a filter lens over me after a certain point. Like, I loved wearing those glasses. I think they're in my senior year. My junior or senior year of high school, I'm wearing those things in the class pictures.
Hashtag bring them back, baby.
Yep. Holtzman then.
Yes, but I suppose on that note, we should probably get going because, after all, there's a lot of movies out there and somebody's got to watch them. So why not us, right?
The hat is too much, right? Is it the wig or the hat?
Thank you for listening to the Deep Cut Podcast. There's a new episode every 2 weeks. You can find it on Spotify and all major podcast apps. Don't forget to let us know your topic. Every 2 weeks, there's a new episode. So rate us and subscribe to the Deep Cut Podcast. There's a new episode every 2 weeks. Yeah. You can find it on Spotify and all major podcast apps. Don't forget to let us know your topic. Every 2 weeks, there's a new episode. So rate us and subscribe to the Deep Cut Pod, to the Deep Cut Pod. You can find it on Spotify and all major podcast apps. Don't forget to let us know your topic. Every 2 weeks, there's a new episode. So rate us and subscribe to the Deep Cut Pie. To the Deep Cut Podcast. To the Deep Cut Pod. To the Deep Cut Pod. There's a new episode, so rate us and subscribe to the Deep Cut Pike. To the Deep Cut Pike. To the Deep Cut Pike. To the Deep Cut Pike.